Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in JustFlight's Piper Arrow 3. We have a 102 nautical mile flight from Papa November Echo, Northeast Philadelphia, to Tango Echo Bravo, Teterboro. We'll be flying VFR, using special flight rules through the Hudson River exclusion, and we'll do a practice ILS approach to Teterboro. I also splurged and bought a subscription to Foreflight, so you will see Foreflight overlays at different parts of this flight, and I'll talk about my experience using Foreflight with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. In our last flight, we flew to KPNE in the blue livery, so we are continuing in that airplane again to fly back home to Teterboro. As we get everything started, I will cover the flight brief. So we are taking off from Northeast Philadelphia, and we are using the Robbinsville VOR to navigate to New York. This will take us through what looks like a MOA, but upon closer examination, it's an alert zone. So you can see it is A220. When you look it up in the margin of the terminal area chart, you can see that it is active pretty much all day. It's an alert area, unlike a MOA, so there is no controlling agency. That's what the /AG means. So we just need to be alert for pilot operations in that area. We are going to pick up flight following to help us with this flight, and also help us as we transition that area. Once we get to New York, we're going to hug the coastline and overfly the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. That will be the entry point to the Hudson River exclusion zone, which uses special flight rules and lets us squawk VFR and make CTAF calls throughout that. We'll exit the exclusion zone at Alpine Tower, and from there we'll head direct to our ILS approach initial fix. The initial approach fix of Strad is all the way to the west on the ILS plate. So if we were to fly the normal ILS, we would get vectored along all of these waypoints until we got to Unville. But if you look at Unville, it has an IF next to it, which is an intermediate fix. So we can request from ATC to fly direct to the intermediate fix and skip all of the western waypoints that would get us there. So we will need to arrive at Unville, our intermediate fix, at 2,100, descend to Tugs at 1,500, and there we will intercept the glide slope and continue along the ILS down to the runway. Since this is a practice ILS approach and not a real one, we are responsible for our own separation, and we are still flying VFR for this. We've got the Garmin GNS 530 installed in this aircraft, so we will be using the waypoints. I will also have the sorted frequencies for the VORs that we're using in the ILS frequency dialed into the nav radios. As I mentioned, I bought a subscription to Foreflight. It's the base $100 a year subscription, which really gives me everything I need. There's a simple app that you install and run on launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator that connects Microsoft Flight Simulator to Foreflight. I've got it running on my iPhone. And I've got another app that streams my iPhone screen right to my Windows desktop. So you'll be able to see it live at different points in the flight. I'll turn on the overlay and you will see what I'm seeing on my iPhone. Alright, we're at a class Delta, so I think we can pick up flight following from ground and not need to call clearance delivery. They'll direct us otherwise. So let's give them a call. Northeast ground, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. P28A slant golf, request flight following destination Tango Echo Bravo, Teterboro, cruise altitude 3,500. On departure, flight heading 085, remain VFR at or below 2,200, remain clear, Philly class Bravo airspace, departure frequency 123.8, squawk 4314, November 359 Golf Charlie. Northeast ground, Piper 359 Golf Charlie with information India, Atlantic Aviation, request taxi. Taxi, runway 33 via Alpha 4, Alpha 1, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. So what's cool about Foreflight is you can bring it up, it'll tell you which runway has the best wind, and then you can go up to your flight plan, tap on the airport, and select your runway, and it'll update all of the arrows showing you which runway you're taking off from. You can also zoom right in onto the airfield and see your position in the airport and all the taxiways, and this is with the base plan. So when you read the features, For the $200 plan, it talks about georeferenced taxi plates, which is true, but you don't need them because Foreflight itself, without the taxi plates, makes its own taxi diagrams and shows you where you are, so I like it. If you get complex taxi instructions, you can just use your finger and draw right on the screen. So you can draw the route that you're going to take to get to the runway, and that will be an overlay on the map that'll pinch and zoom as you move things around in Foreflight. Alright, we look clear left, clear right. Let's get underway.
Transition approved, northeast altimeter 3030.
We'll pull over here to the side and do a quick run-up. Northeast ground, Piper 359 Golf Charlie, continue. Taxi runway 33, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. Northeast tower, Piper 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 33. Cleared for departure, runway 33, Piper 359 Golf Charlie.
Looking for traffic, 43 Delta Sierra. Delhi 521 to 3 Delta Sierra, this is make right close traffic. Delhi 521 to center main 3000. Exit 616 Philly approach, descend via the Jake 3, the altimeter is 3030. For 2 Lima Alpha, runway 33, clear for takeoff, turn right on course. United 2030 Philly approach, the altimeter is 3030, you can expect 27. Clear for takeoff, 2 Lima Alpha. 2 Lima Alpha, turn right on course. 7-1, right on course. You're clear to Missing. Head back 10 star 1. Traffic, no kind of freeze to change approved. 10 star 1, thanks for the help. 6 Whiskey Roger, if you hang on here just a minute, stay at 4,500 feet. You got some traffic there about 10 o'clock and 8 miles. Northeastbound at 4,000 at the Pilatus. If you start descending now, you guys might become a conflict for one another. Just hang up there at 45 for a minute, and as soon as this guy's out of your way or not going to be a factor, I'll start you down and terminate it.
Flaps up. And we're above 400 and the end of the runway, so we can make our turn.
November 45 Delta, contact reading, approach 12515. Charlie Golf, India Whiskey Zulu, descend and maintain 7000.
Over to departure, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. Philly approach, Piper 359 Golf Charlie, 5 miles north, Papa November Echo, level 2200. 29092, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. Alright, we are set and on track, so let's sit back and enjoy that awesome scenery. Alright, that was a fun flight. Once again, I had trouble with the autopilot and the ILS. Despite my best efforts, it just wasn't tracking it right, so I was way offset from the runway. I turned it off and ended up flying it manually, but came in for a good landing. Foreflight was awesome. I am glad that I purchased it. It was really cool to use the features throughout the flight, and I didn't even scratch the surface in this video. So you'll definitely see it more in upcoming videos. Do you need to spend $99 on it for pretend flying? Well, no, but I also didn't need to spend $45 for this pretend airplane, so you know, it's all kind of relative. And to be honest, as you've heard me say in other videos, I want to be a pilot, so that's in the plan, and I think learning to use Foreflight this way will just give me another leg up on my eventual training. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks a lot for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.